The family of 6-year-old Logan Tipton saw the man accused of stabbing and killing the little boy in the courtroom for the first time today.
Kentucky's had a total of 18 Powerball winners. Maybe after tonight's drawing, we'll have 19.
Another gorgeous day outside. Now we'll have the upper level clouds the rest of the afternoon. Those don't do anything to us. It just makes for a good looking day. And temperatures are getting much better today and tomorrow, and then changes there for the weekend. I'll have all that coming up.
This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon to you from WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. The Indiana man suspected in the brutal killing of a Central Kentucky boy was back in front of a judge today.
Police say Ronald Exantos stabbed Logan Tipton to death during a home invasion in Versailles last month. He is facing capital murder, burglary, and assault charges. WKYT's Hillary Thornton is in Versailles now with the latest on the case, and that is our top story at noon. Hillary?
1 month ago, 6-year-old Logan Tipton was stabbed to death while sleeping inside of his Versailles home. Today, the man accused of murdering the little boy went before a judge, entering a not guilty plea. It was a tense morning inside the courtroom as the Tipton family filled the first 2 rows. It was their first time seeing the man accused of killing their little Logan. The circuit court arraignment for Exantos held inside of the district court building, a decision the Woodford County Sheriff says was made out of safety concerns for Exantos and the families involved. Sheriff Wayne Wright says the building is easier to monitor and also easier to move Exantos in and out of. Once inside of the courtroom, the attorney for Exantos entered a not guilty plea. She also asked that any evidence the Commonwealth has be turned over as soon as possible so they can really start preparing for what she says is not a typical murder case.
This case is very anomalous. It's unlike any of the 8 capital cases that I represent. This gentleman has absolutely no ties to this family, no ties to Kentucky. He's never been in Kentucky except to drive through it, to my knowledge, to get to Florida. And we know nothing. Our client's not able to really tell us much of anything. He's mainly delusional. When he's not delusional, it's been very difficult to communicate with him.
Now, as for the mental state of Exantos, his attorney says she cannot comment on what, if any, treatment or evaluations he has been through. She did, however, say that he was, quote, actively psychotic when booked into the jail, and she says she does not believe he has been himself since she met him that day. In Woodford County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Hillary, thank you. And Exantos is to be back in court on March 2nd when the case will presumably move forward. 2 inmates who escaped from a Lexington prison will be back in court in less than an hour this afternoon. Police found Jordan Green and Waltez Franklin near the Harrison-Grant County line. Those inmates walked away from Blackburn Correctional Complex on Monday night. A railroad worker is the one who told police that the men asked him for directions. He had recognized the escapees from seeing them on the news. He contacted police, both men, to be arraigned on escape charges this afternoon at 1 o'clock.
We're tracking a developing story in Georgia this midday where a plane that was heading here to Lexington has crashed. The plane experienced problems this morning after taking off from the Savannah Hilton Head International Airport. Our CBS affiliate in Savannah says the pilot turned around in the air and was attempting to land when the plane crashed into a ditch near the runway. The 2 men on board the plane were taken to a local hospital, but no one has provided details on the extent of their injuries. We did some digging and found out that the plane is registered to Upper Deck Holdings in New Hampshire. At this time, we don't know why the plane was coming to Lexington. There's some drama this midday surrounding Medal of Honor recipient and Kentucky native Dakota Meyer. He has filed for shared custody of his daughter, Sailor, making it official, at least on his part, that he is the father of Bristol Palin's 2nd child. WKYT's Rebecca Smith is at the live desk now with a look at the unfolding legal battle. Rebecca?
Hi, Barbara. Medal of Honor recipient and Kentucky native Dakota Meyer now says he is the father of Bristol Palin's 2nd child. According to legal documents obtained by celebrity website TMZ, Meyer wants a judge to award him joint legal and physical custody. He's also asking for child support. Palin gave birth to the girl named Sailor last month, but she has not officially said who the father is. Palin announced she was pregnant shortly after breaking off her engagement to Meyer. He is no stranger, really, to taking a strong stance on issues. The last time we heard from Meyer was about a month ago. He delivered a fiery speech at Governor Matt Bevin's inauguration. Meyer is one of Bevin's biggest supporters.
This is a man that is not afraid to do the unpopular thing when it's the right thing.
Well, Dakota's would-be mother-in-law, Sarah Palin, has actually spoken out on all this drama. She told Entertainment Tonight her family's been trying to reach out to Dakota, but he wanted nothing to do with Bristol's pregnancy or the baby. At the live desk, Rebecca Smith, WKYT.
Rebecca, thank you. And Bristol Palin just recently wrapped up a child support battle with the father of her first child, Levi Johnston.
Well, it could be the calm before the storm today here in the Bluegrass. We have clear skies. Those temperatures are back up into the 40s this afternoon, but rain will be moving back toward the end of the work week, and it could get interesting after that. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live at our First Alert Weather Center.
You know, I think interesting is the best word for it. We're going to be looking outside the next couple of days. Conditions like this, it really doesn't look all that bad. We're right around 40 degrees in virtually all locations. Then we get off toward tomorrow, and that's when things change just a little bit. Watch this, 40 degrees there at 1 p.m. today, 43 by the afternoon. Then we go through the night and into tomorrow morning, and then 1 p.m. tomorrow at 44. It's getting warmer. Typically when you see that, you know something is on the way, and that's really our focus of the forecast. No doubt about it, 100% we will see rain Friday off into your weekend. However, will we see any snow out of this? And if so, how much are we talking? I'll have those answers coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, as we said, interesting days ahead.
Oh, yes. Well, if you're feeling lucky, you may want to buy a ticket or two for tonight's Powerball drawing.
The jackpot is the largest in almost a year, the fourth largest in the history of the game. It has just gone up in the last little bit. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain has reaction from people who are hoping to win it big.
As many of you have already done or hoping to do later today, I got my lucky Powerball ticket. That's right, I actually got this ticket with videographer Ray Brown. Ray, are you feeling lucky today? Good, I hope so, because you know the odds of winning tonight's Powerball are 1 in 290 million. But you know what? Those odds aren't keeping people from playing tonight's Powerball.
You couldn't use 450 million.
What a way to start the new year.
Make me a millionaire.
Winning $450 million.
Good luck.
That's the estimated jackpot for tonight's Powerball drawing.
You buying a Powerball ticket?
Actually cashed a check for $21 that I had down in North Carolina when I lived down there. Took the $20, still have one of them. Took the $20 and I'm going to turn it into millions.
Tonight's drawing is the fourth largest Powerball jackpot ever and is the biggest prize since last February when the jackpot hit $564.1 million.
It blows my mind how many people have purchased Powerball tickets.
There have been 18 Powerball winners in the state of Kentucky. Maybe after tonight's drawing, there will be 19.
And then you get people from other states that come through here and buy a Kentucky Powerball ticket.
And the drawing takes place at 10:59. In Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
All right, thank you very much, Michelle. And in just the last few minutes, I mentioned this just a moment ago, the Kentucky Lottery announced that the Powerball jackpot has now grown to $500 million. $500 million on the line tonight. Well, the Louisville Slugger Museum and Factory says it is celebrating a record number of visitors, giving it momentum going into its 20th anniversary season. The museum says more than 314,000 people visited the museum in 2015. That number eclipses the former record by 11,000 that was set in 2013. Several factors contribute to the higher attendance, including a popular exhibit of trading cards and some longer summer hours as well. It's a nice little trip over there to Louisville.
Yes,
Check it out.
is.
Well, it's an exciting night for Harlan County native and The Voice winner Jordan Smith.
He'll be performing live on the People's Choice Awards, accompanied by Grammy-winning record producer and musician David Foster. Smith has been busy in the studio working with Foster on his debut album. You can see Smith sing on the People's Choice Awards tonight at 9 o'clock right here on WKYT.
Well, it's great to have you with us on WKYT. The United Nations is investigating reports that North Korea has successfully tested a hydrogen bomb. We'll have the latest on that next on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, a star-studded list of presenters has been announced for Sunday's Golden Globe Award ceremony, including some past winners. We'll take a look coming up on WKYT News at Noon. Welcome back to WKYT News at Noon. Nuclear weapons experts are trying to determine if North Korea did, in fact, conduct a hydrogen bomb test.
That's what they're claiming today. Kenneth Craig has the latest from the United Nations, where leaders from around the world are right now holding an emergency session.
North Korea made the announcement on state TV, claiming its first ever test of a miniaturized hydrogen bomb was a perfect success. The blast that registered as a 5.1 magnitude quake quickly triggered international condemnation, including China, one of its few allies. South Korea called the test a threat to the peace and stability of the world. In a statement, the White House said the U.S. will respond appropriately to any North Korean provocations.
If it was a hydrogen bomb, that will demonstrate a technological leap forward for North Korea. And if they're on the verge of miniaturization, that means that they're very close to being able to put that on a warhead and potentially to deploy it well beyond the Korean peninsula.
Diplomats here at the United Nations quickly scheduled an emergency closed-door meeting to discuss the developments.
This act is profoundly destabilizing for regional security.
Japan mobilized reconnaissance planes to collect air samples to test for radiation. Analysts say it could take weeks to determine exactly what happened. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, the United Nations.
And military experts say one of the goals of North Korea's missile program is to develop a warhead that is capable of reaching the U.S. mainland. The GOP-led Congress in Washington about to send a bill to President Obama's desk that strikes at the heart of his health care law. Today, the House will vote on legislation that would cut federal funding for Planned Parenthood and dismantle requirements that most people obtain health insurance coverage. It would also eliminate the expansion of Medicaid coverage to additional lower-income people. A Massachusetts judge has delayed today's scheduled deposition from Bill Cosby's wife, Camille.
7 women accused Bill Cosby of sexual misconduct and filed a civil lawsuit against him for defamation. Lawyers tried to have the subpoena tossed out of a court, but a judge ruled that she had pertinent information since she served as her husband's business manager. Bill Cosby is facing criminal charges in Pennsylvania for assaulting another woman 12 years ago. The former Temple University employee claims Cosby drugged and sexually assaulted her in 2004. The Golden Globes stacking the stage with stars. Nominee Helen Mirren has been named as a presenter at Sunday's ceremony, along with Kate Hudson and her stepfather, Kurt Russell. Others who will be handing out awards include Bryce Dallas Howard, Jim Carrey, Olivia Wilde, Jamie Foxx, Amy Adams, Julianne Moore, and Mel Gibson, who hasn't been in the public spotlight in 10 years. Ricky Gervais will return as host for the 4th time. The 73rd Golden Globes will air live from the Beverly Hilton Sunday night.
I'm Phil Pendleton in Frankfurt at 12:30. I'll tell you why a high-profile U.S. attorney from New York State spoke to Kentucky lawmakers this morning.
You know, a lot of times when you look in the sky and you see some of those milky clouds high in the atmosphere, a lot of times that means some rain's on the way in the next couple of days. I'll show you if that's true coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Now, the milky clouds out and about, upper level cirrus clouds, they do not give off any rain. Typically, if you think about folklore, what it says is a lot of times when you start to see these upper level cirrus clouds move on in, that typically means you actually have some rain in the next few days. Well, you know what? This is going to be true, and a lot of times this one is true when you start to see those milky clouds move on in. So the next few days, not tomorrow, but the day after that, you actually see some rain slide on in. That's moisture out ahead of your actual system. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s at this moment. We'll all finish off in the 40s later on this afternoon. Low to mid 40s, not that bad. Actually feels pretty decent outside, even though some of us still in the 30s. We have the sunshine. That helps out big time. 43 degrees later on today, off into the evening and into the night. Not as cold, but don't get me wrong. Let's be honest. That's still pretty cold. 25 degrees. At least we're not in the teens. That's helping us out. And going in toward tomorrow will actually be about 5 degrees warmer than where we are today. Still staying in the 40s for most, but some of us down south could be in the lower 50s. Let's talk about what's going on and towards your weekend. Friday, weak system comes flying through, gives us some rain. Saturday, another system. And on the back edge of this system on Saturday into Sunday, that's when we're going to be watching a pretty interesting setup. As of right now, this rolls right through the state of Kentucky, and when that happens, you get a lot of rain out of that, and also the backside during the winter months, you're going to get that wraparound moisture. Not only will it bring in that Arctic cold air, but when you have moisture and some Arctic cold air thrown in together, it's a bad combo. Unless you like some snow and really cold temperatures, then you actually love this combo. But chances of snow are there Sunday into Monday. How much snow are we going to expect? As of right now, we're 5 days out, so it's a long ways to go before we actually nail that down. But as of right now, it's a light snowmaker at best, but we'll see how that turns if that changes with that pattern. Nonetheless, what we are very confident in, you're going to get some cold air after this. We're at 43 degrees today, right there in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees tomorrow. These 2 days are beautiful days, and then Friday, Saturday, that's when it gets a little wet. I will tell you this, the first half of your Friday actually looks like the wet half. The second half, afternoon and evening, looks like that rain's already moved on out. Then the next system comes creeping in here. Saturday off into Sunday before it starts to switch over and maybe pull in some snow there on Sunday into Monday. So it is a forecast basically for everybody. I mean, if you like the milder temperatures, you're dealing with that today and tomorrow, and also Friday. But if you're wanting some rain, it's in there. If you're wanting a little snow, it's in there. If you're wanting some cold temperatures, if you've been looking for the cold, saying, you know what, this is kind of chilly outside, but it's still not the cold I'm looking for, well, that's next week. We are very confident in that. 25 for a high on Monday, 28 for a high on Tuesday. If your kids do not have their coats out yet, you need to get them out of the attic. Yeah, they better get them, because next week it's going to be freezing.
Yeah, well, they would have needed them over the last couple of mornings.
That's
it's
true.
Pretty cold early in the day. Thank you, Micah. We appreciate it. We're coming back on WKYT in just a moment. The Cats hit the road in conference play for the first time this season.
And boy, did they take a figurative hit in the gut. Dave Baker's next with sports.
And let's check stocks as we head into afternoon trading. The major market indicators with a lot going on around the world way down.
Ben Simmons didn't go crazy on the Cats last night, and LSU still won by double figures. That's why there are more questions than answers this midday after a bad night on the Bayou. John Calipari's team gets a break. Simmons on the bench with 2 fouls, but LSU forges ahead. How about the steal? Tim Quarterman, the slam on the run out. LSU up by 14. Here's Simmons cheering his teammates on. Isaiah Briscoe brings the Cats back on the drive, the basket, and one. He cut the lead to 12. And just before the half, how about Tyler Ewis stepping up and knocking down the triple? 10-point game at the half. Into the second half, LSU comes up with the ball. Quarterman down court to Simmons. Look at that finish. LSU by 10 again. Jamal Murray, speaking of 10, scored 10 straight for the Cats. Kentucky able to cut the lead to 4. But the Cats turn the ball over. Victor, the transfer from Arizona, with a steal and the lay-in. Tigers by that double-digit mark again. Tim Quarterman, not Simmons, the Cat killer. Quarterman, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Kentucky falls to LSU 85-67.
We weren't up for the challenge. We weren't ready to compete at the level that they were competing at, especially our inside people. We didn't get very much from anybody in there except a lot of fouls. But give credit to LSU. They played well.
Oh, how things are different when everybody's gunning for you. Dunbar's second in the state, hosting Madison Central last night. Indians' Grant Brockman drives and finishes with a left-hand. Central up 5 in the second quarter. How about Darius Williams trying to get the Bulldogs back in it? He scores and is fouled. But the Indians on this night, too much. John Williams drives, scoops, and scores. Central gets it done on the road with the upset, 59-54. And that, my friends, is a look at sports on your Wednesday.
Dave, thank you. As always, we appreciate it.
There's more to come in our next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
Philanthropist and businessman Bill Gates pays a visit to an eastern Kentucky school.
The man accused of killing a 6-year-old Versailles boy went in front of a judge today. Coming up, hear what his attorney has to say about her client's mental state.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $500 million, and Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $165 million.